Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Coom Style Reviews, and what we have is Iron Factory, their IF-EX-02 turrets and Manacle, which is their homage to the Transformers G1 characters, Six Gun and Slammer, which of course went with G1 Metroplex. Rather than a G1 Metroplex, of course, I have Make Toys Utopia here in the back. What's unfortunate about this set is that they are not compatible with them. They are actually made for characters with 5mm pegs, so even though I don't have the Hasbro Generations Metroplex, I did go ahead and include Generations Fall of Cybertron Grimlock, which of course has Iron Factory's EX-01 Grimlock upgrade kit. And if you like what you see with either of these items, 01, 02, order yours right now at tfsource.com. I believe they're both in stock. But anyway, rather than a regular review, these are actually a lot of fun, and I don't have a lot of opportunities as a photographer to really get to play with toys, you know? And I've noticed that these have a lot of pegs. I looked at the instructions, there are quite a few configurations and things like that. And instead of a review, I'm kind of just going to play around with these and see what I think in front of you guys, because I really haven't messed with them at all yet. But anyways, you can also see the box. Iron Factory was nice enough to send me 2 of these kits. I asked them, hey, you guys sent me 2 thinking maybe it was a mistake, and they just said yes, so thanks, guys. Anyways, though, here's the box. The box art, really nice. Dig it quite a bit. What you get in the box, of course, turret, manacle, and you get 2 of these. They're just weapon sets, so it's like a futuristic hover tank thing, and they each get a gun as well. So I also included Takara's THS-02 Hybrid Convoy, as well as DX-09, their Speedo and Garnell. So you can see that these are definitely Legends class figures, so there's no mistake about what scale they're supposed to be and things like that. Classic Legend size. Alright, so taking a look at these. For me, in a Legends figure, a lot like the DX-09 toys, they've got just that right amount of detail, and not too much, not too little. Of course, you know, Takara really knocked it out of the park with THS-02, Hybrid Convoy. That's diecast and things like that. That's a really fantastic one-of-a-kind type of figure. But in standard Legends class figures, these, which are within that $50 or so range, you know, they really did a great job. I love that little stumpy, almost chibi anime aesthetic that they've got going for them. They really look nice. Now, taking a look at them, just the posability and stuff, looks like the head's on a ball joint as well as the shoulders. It does have elbow bend there since it's on the ball joint. It also has bicep swivel. No turn at the waist, not a bad thing. I was surprised to see that Turrets actually has real thigh rotation. Great bend at the knee. Neither of these have ankle tilts, but looking at Slammer, about the same. So his head's a little bit more in, but he definitely has a ball jointed head. Pretty much exact same posability as Turrets. Alright. And he even has some waist rotation. How crazy is that? That's so cool. And I think the only reason Turrets doesn't have it, I believe he comes in half for his transformation. Alright, so that's a look at that. Now, these hover tanks, you have the 2 guns, which can give you a more traditional slammer look. They just peg into the sides here. And just to go over where they have the 5mm pegs, he has 2 on his shoulders there, 2 on his ankles. He has a 5mm peg sticking out in the back. Okay. Manacle. Same forearms, ankles, as well as 2 on his back there. So, a lot of playability. Like, if you really want to be, I don't want to say lazy, you can actually have them, since these have a peg on the bottom. You can have them just hold them as a gun, if you want to do it that way. Oops. And of course I drop it off. There's actually holes on the top of those guys there. They're kind of coming apart, but you get the drift. Just to show you guys some of the different options. Okay, and of course you could take the same thing and do it with like a Grimlock in the back who has the 5mm pegs on his shoulders, on his shield, things like that, you know? But we'll look at him a little bit more once we get these guys transformed. So, okay, we'll actually take this one apart and see if we can do some different things with Manacle over here. So, alright. Well, yeah, let's just take it all apart. We're kind of freestyling a little bit here. Alright, so he's got the forearms. I always like the idea of a forearm shield, so how about that? Okay. Now, with this guy, actually, why don't I just have him hold this one as a gun? This one as a side gun. Yeah, I'll have him hold this one too. Okay. And then these two missile pods, I can just put them kind of like, if you guys remember the Perfect Effect Warden figure. Oh, we had those, but yeah, take a look. Now they're pretty beefed up, and I do dig it. Let's actually explore some options. That looks really cheap on turrets there, 6-gun. I wish he kind of had the forearm things, but the holes in the shoulders actually give him more of that traditional 6-gun look. So I know my hands are in front of the camera, kind of knocking everything around. But the nice part is, I don't know if you guys have watched any of my recent stuff, but we just moved into a new house, and it's nice not to have shaky floors or anything like that anymore. I know the camera shake on my videos probably got a bit annoying for the viewers, you know. Alright, so there's that. You've got that. And of course, he can do the same thing. Hold him as a gun. He has these forearm guards that make you have to peg him in more deep. Kind of work around those, but still not bad. You can get him in there. And as for this, like the shield and stuff like that, really don't know. I guess you can peg this in. The cool part is that they're just universally 5mm pegs and peg holes. So there you go. Alright, and that is a look at their robot modes. Really just fun stuff. They're neat little dudes. And alright, we're actually going to go ahead and get these transformed. This is actually my first time transforming these, so let's take a look at how this looks. Alright, so I guess we'll go ahead and start with Manacle. Just had to make sure everything's removed. This is off the back. Flip this up over his head. Flip these around so they line up. See, like so. Okay. And then the whole thing, you take each side, flip the arms in there. And make sure everything lines up. Alright, feet, they each flip back. Alright, this, kind of funny. Oh, I get it now. The waist rotates here. Okay. Then you take these, bend it up, bring it back. Alright, peg into each other. Oops, got it off the camera there. So actually zoom out a bit. And then this actually goes on top. Now, I forgot to mention, in the robot modes, these parts of the turret are supposed to come apart here. If I can do it right. At least according to the instructions. There we go. So, just had to bring it off camera. These separate, and they could be a gun and a shield, but they're already there on his back. We just put them right back. So, technically, you don't even have to take that off, I don't think. So, slammer. Now, 6 gun, he apparently turns into 2 different cannons. So, let's take a look at that. This is supposed to slide forward, which it did pretty easy. Now these guns supposed to flip down, which they did pretty easy. Zoom out a bit. The head, take it, turn it backwards. Make sure these guys are down. And then just take them both, flip them around. And there's a tab right there for those guys. And I got it. It looks like I just had to squeeze it tighter to put it in place. Alright. There's that part. So that's one of the cannons. And as for the other one, see how this works. Flip that peg forward. Looks like the legs just flip up. And they tab in too. See right there. Right there. There's that. Now, those 2 guns that we were using on his shoulders previously, they go in right there. So, unfortunately, like I said, they are made for, well, I guess any toy with 5mm pegs, but since Utopia doesn't have them, they're more compatible in weapon mode with the Hasbro Generations Metroplex. But, since we have the Iron Factory upgraded Generations Grimlock right here, we're going to take a look. Another candidate that, unfortunately, is still packed, but I think would be really good is that Generations, the original War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. That thing had 5mm pegs everywhere. So I want to dig that up and take some pictures with that because I bet that would be just badass. So taking a look, peg this one into his forearm, boom. Peg this one into his shoulder. Bit loose, but you get the basic point. Kind of bulky on the Deluxes and Voyagers, even though this is a Voyager, since they look kind of bulky on him, I'm going to assume it'd be even more so on a Deluxe, but so you get an idea of how they look attached to a figure. Definitely not bad. I really dig it. And I'm sure there are fan modes and stuff like that. I know I saw some pictures from Iron Factory where they actually use multiple sets to make like a super turrets and things like that, you know, just because of how everything goes apart, comes apart, stuff like that. I'm not really good at the fan modes and stuff. If I have a picture in front of me, cool, but I'm really not good at making them up. But the default modes and things like that are really nice. Really just good aesthetic to them. The plastic quality, if I had to think of something to compare it to, Fans Project, their Revolver Core figure. That like matty type, solid, but not like super crazy, like thick, hurt your finger if you flick it type plastic, things like that. So really just good, decent quality, Great aesthetic to them, simple transformations. I love the compatibility with quite a few figures, as you can see. Of course, besides Utopia, which I really want them to be compatible to. Hopefully somebody on Shapeways, if you hear this, make some kind of, conversion set or something like that. But for what they're worth, they are fantastic. Definitely recommend them. And if you want to buy your own, get it, tfsource.com, click order. It's all yours. But anyway, thank you for watching me play around with these guys. I'll see you guys next review. Like us on Facebook, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys think as well, and I want to see your pictures and your fan modes of these things and stuff like that too, because I got a feeling people are going to have a lot of fun with these guys. But anyway, see you next review.